Alright everyone, the time is 4:12 p.m. and it is February 8th. I am coming on for a quick update regarding some things the long-range models are putting out in regards to winter weather. We could see another winter storm on the horizon for next week. I'm talking about Wednesday, possibly into Thursday. We could see some potential for some heavy snow accumulations. Again, models are going to have to come together quite a bit more in order to forecast the potential for snow totals in regards to the system, but it is getting to the point where we can notably say there might be something coming next week in regards to snow. So I'm going to just briefly touch on that in this video. Temperatures really aren't going to adjust super much. It's going to moderate between somewhat below freezing and then slightly above freezing throughout most of the week and into next week. So a little bit of snow melt will take place, but that might not really, there might be more snow on the ground in regards to when these snowstorms hit next week. It may just come right back after it melts. So we're going to go through all that. First, I want to remind you of all the platforms you can subscribe to us on: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter. And remind, if you're watching on desktop, you can scan that flow code that is on the right side of your screen. And make sure to do that if you have not already. All right, let's get right to it. So first of all, this is the current weather map. It's sunshine out across most of the Great Lakes region. Rather quiet over the past couple of days, which has been pretty great. That's going to change. We're going to have a series of a couple clipper systems that are going to move through the area, the Great Lakes region, right around here over the next few days, which could drop a few inches in parts of, especially Michigan and the northern parts of Indiana and Ohio. So let's take a look at how this progresses. Again, we're still in that colder air mass based on what the models are saying here. And looks like that low pressure system may bring a little bit of snow across Ohio in particular. Might see some development of snow there. And on the backside, lake effect. The lake effect snow machine is going to fuel up. Really, what is going to be taking place is going to be quite a bit of lake effect snow over the next couple of days, especially as we get into Thursday. Into Friday, we could see a couple inches of snow. Especially from lake effect. Lake effect is going to be something we're going to want to pay attention to, connected with this low pressure system. So lake effect snow showers seem to be on the menu for a lot of the Great Lakes region over the next couple of days. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And then as we get into Friday, we've got this system snow that's going to move in from the northern part of Canada, and it's really going to settle over Michigan and northern Indiana throughout the day on Friday. And might see a little bit of a transition to rain on the southern end of that system. But that's going to progress through. That's going to drop a few inches of snow. That's been in the forecast for the past few days. We are pretty certain that that is going to be coming around. So that's going to be something we're going to want to keep an eye on. Let's draw it out forward, because these are the minor snowfalls that are going to be taking place over the next few days. So not really much of a huge concern in regards to travel. Again, it might cause some slight travel impacts, especially on Friday in particular. Got another little bit of a low pressure system bringing in some snow and potentially some lake effect on the backside. Not too much though. We'll get back into high pressure again. And then as we progress, this is when we get into Wednesday. You got this low pressure system up here that's really deepening, and this low pressure system down here. This is the one we want to keep an eye on in regards to our potential for some heavy snow. So you see it starts to develop along this little boundary here, this mass between the cold air mass and the warm air mass. That's where it begins to develop, and it begins to really strengthen. It's going to start out as rain, just like that previous winter storm did last week. Another winter storm might be fueling some heavy snow along same places as before, Michigan, northern Indiana, and it'll begin to spread once again southeastward. This is the same thing that happened with the winter storm last week. All right, and you might get even some ice as before in southern Indiana, southern Ohio. That's what the model is putting out. We're getting into long-range models, so too soon to tell how much this is really going to intensify, or even if it's going to happen. But it's getting to the point where we can start saying, okay, looks like a storm's going to develop. Maybe we'll have some snow. Now, this is the next batch. The GFS model is probably the only model that's putting this out right now. So this batch of snow on the backside, it's really not certain of if this will develop. There's already heavy snow that fell, but it is going to progress in the similar places that it did with that previous storm in the Great Lakes region. Snow on the northern end, ice on the southern end, and it's going to be impacting the Great Lakes region. And not only that, we might see some severe thunderstorms on the southern end in Dixie Alley, parts of northern Mississippi, southern Alabama, those regions down there could see some severe weather. And it's going to just continue to progress in a similar fashion as it did with that previous winter storm. That's going to turn kind of into more of a nor'easter type deal as it gets into the New England states. That is the big winter storm that we should be keeping an eye on over the next several days. Again, it's too far out to make a for sure determination, but if we look at the ECMWF model, it's also following a similar pattern. Lake effect snow again, system snow on Friday, more lake effect on the back side, and then you got that system, that miniature system on Monday, that might bring a little bit of snow as well, and then you've got that same pattern developing on the ECMWF, with the exception of the winter batch of heavy snow on the back side. That's the one thing that the ECMWF model doesn't put out. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. But it does put out the potential for severe weather in the south and the potential for snow in the north. Except in the Great Lakes region, it's not going to see as much snow according to the latest models. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on in regards to how this evolves over the next several days. Because, again, this is still kind of long range to make an exact determination. But I think there's a potential for seeing 3 to 5, maybe 6 inches of snow based on this model itself. A lot more snow if this model holds out to be correct. But, again, we got to wait to see what the models will say. Alright, so total snowfall between now and that winter storm. This is the model that seems to be more reliable in regards to snowfall. So this model's putting out 6 to 8 inches, maybe even upwards of up to a foot in parts of western Michigan. And if we get into the north, again, up to 10 inches. Not as much snow accumulation down in the south. So we're going to have snow accumulations in central Indiana of 1 to 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches in Ohio. Not really too much of a extensive snowfall. And maybe a little band of some snowfall totals in parts of Wisconsin, Illinois. This region's going to probably see some snow over the next several days. Mainly lake effect snow. If we go back, let's put it on a slider, the forecast loop, because that might help us see when and what time the snow is going to fall. So this is the loop. We're going to let it load real quick. If you look at the GFS model, puts out a totally different story here. It's putting out upwards of up to 15 inches in parts of southwestern Michigan, which, if that does happen, that's on the higher end. So I don't expect there to be that much snow. But again, lake effect is always unpredictable. It's always a wild card. We can't really be certain of how much snow falls, but it does put out a lot more snow from the systems that are moving through. We're also going to put this one on a loop so you can see when snow is projected to fall too. All right, let's let this render for a minute. This should be rendered by now. All right, so the first batch of snow will be lake effect mainly, and that is going to drop about 3 to 4 inches of snow on Thursday, Friday. That's when the system snow begins to move in as well. So lake effect on the back side. We're going to get up to 4 inches in parts of western Michigan, 2 inches if you live in northern Indiana, just a dusting in parts of the other Ohio and Indiana based on this model. Then we get that more lake effect potential on Tuesday, and then the Wednesday, you got that system snow beginning to move in. That's where the system snow begins, and you get the accumulations boosted of up to 2 inches in parts of central Michigan. ECMWF model, really not concerned about that winter storm on next week, which gives me some cause to think that maybe the main snow event is going to be on Friday and later this week with the lake effect, this weekend with the lake effect. So both models are kind of disagreeing on this winter storm that's moving through, so it's going to be something to just keep an eye on as it moves through. GFS puts out a totally different idea of what's going to happen. So let's put this out here. Let's progress this forward. This is Thursday at about 4 a.m. Lake effect snow begins to fall. It's Friday morning, 7 a.m. System snow moves in. Pretty heavy snow accumulation if you live along the lake in parts of Michigan, southwestern Michigan. That's going to be lake effect on the backside of the system snow. So we could see a little bit of snow on the backside that might have an impact on the total snowfall. All right, so this is the 13th. From now to the 13th, getting close to Valentine's Day, more lake effect begins to fall. And then that system moves in Tuesday evening. That is forecasted by the models. And that's when our snow totals really start to ramp up. And parts of the region. So pretty impressive snow totals, and it's even putting out more snow in the long-range models. So quite a bit of snow accumulations to keep an eye on in regards to this system. Again, this is getting long range, so we can't really make a for sure determination on these snow totals down here in Cleveland of 15 inches, for example, even 18 inches in parts of Van Buren and Cass counties. We'll see how that turns out, but it is something to make a note of. We could see some snow. Well, we're certain that we're going to see some snow through the end of this week, maybe upwards of 3 to 5 inches. Next week, though, we got to keep an eye on that winter storm potential based on the latest models. All right, that's all I have to show you. Again, take a look at the National Weather Service's website for official forecasts from them. This is just something for you to look at in regards to potential for snow, what the models are putting out. So hopefully this video gave you some interesting information regarding the potential for snowfall in the Great Lakes region next week. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment. Make sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And if you subscribe, you can always continue to see all the content that we will publish here. All right, that is all from me. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. Oops.